What if we're the last generation to experience school as a place where you sit in rows, listen to someone talk at you, and then memorize information for a test? What if that version of school ends with us? Because right now, AI is quietly replacing every function the old system was built on, faster than universities can update their websites and their curricula. And if AI becomes the smartest teacher, the most patient tutor, the fairest grader, and the most personalized learning path you'll ever have, then what exactly is the point of school as we know it? Today, we're going to explore what future school looks like, a world where knowledge is infinite, your professor lives in your pocket, and the classroom becomes something entirely different, a place for transformation, not memorization. Welcome back to Thinking and Being. If you like what you see today, please be sure to like and subscribe, as this will enable you to see more content from myself and others just like this. And congratulations, you made it to my 40th long-form episode. Well done. So pat yourself on the back by pressing the like and subscribe buttons and comment what you think of this video. So why this particular topic? Well, because the cracks are already showing. College is already struggling. Tuition is exploding, the return on investment for degrees is collapsing, white-collar jobs are shrinking, and AI can teach, test, and tutor better than most faculty can. We're hitting an inflection point, not a slow evolution, a sudden one. And whether you're a student, a parent, or someone who lived through the old system, the truth is the same. School wasn't designed for a world where information is free, instant, and updated daily. So rather than patching that system, let's look at where it's actually heading if we take our hands off the wheel and follow the logic to its conclusion.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers. Meow. I'm learning.
Way to go, Ralph.
So why does traditional school collapse? The core functions of school, teaching, grading, testing, explaining, tutoring, are now done better by AI than by most humans. AI never forgets concepts, it never misgrades, it never gets tired, and instantly adapts explanations for each learner. Professors who teach the same PowerPoint from 20 years ago are going to be outpaced by AI models that update overnight with the latest research. Standardized exams become pointless when AI can tutor you, generate practice tests, and walk you through every mistake. And the financial logic collapses when students realize they can learn 80% of their major for $20 a month. This doesn't replace the idea of school, but it absolutely replaces its old functions. And the grim reality is that credentialism is going to lose its power. For decades, the college degree wasn't about learning, it was about signaling. Employers hired the diploma, not the person. But when AI can test your real skills instantly, the signal collapses. Companies stop caring where you went to school and start caring what you can actually do. The moment employers adopt capability-based hiring, where the portfolio is a bigger deal than your transcript, the old academic gatekeeping fades. Suddenly your degree means less, your work means more, and universities lose the monopoly they've held since the Industrial Revolution. Once the credential loses power, the system must reinvent itself or shrink into irrelevance. So what's the new purpose of school? Let's talk about transformation, not information. So if AI becomes the world's smartest teacher, what is the school actually for? Simple. School becomes about transformation. Not absorbing facts, but becoming someone who can think, judge, debate, and build, and become a productive member of society. In future school, the value shifts from what you know to how you reason. From memorize the chapter to defend your idea. From listen to a lecture to navigate a scenario. Information stops being the scarce resource. Insight becomes the scarce resource. And the classroom becomes the arena where humans sharpen the one thing AI cannot replace: human perspective. So the first shift we'll see in future school is debate and persuasion replacing lectures. In a world where AI can explain any topic, lectures become obsolete. So universities shift toward debate labs, where students argue ideas, challenge assumptions, run philosophical explorations, and defend positions under pressure. It's messy, alive, unpredictable, and impossible to outsource to AI. You can use AI to prepare, but not to perform. And in this new world, communication becomes a core skill. Persuasion becomes a course. Rhetoric comes back. Students don't just learn ideas, they learn to own them. What's the second shift for future school? Well, experience is going to become the curriculum. Knowledge work starts feeling more like skilled trades. Instead of sitting through classes, students rotate through experiential blocks, climate simulations, robotics labs, policy games, startup sprints, hospital shadowing, engineering builds, VR disaster drills, AI-augmented coding marathons. The curriculum is no longer theoretical, it becomes scenario-based. You learn statistics by solving real investigative problems in the world. You learn biology by performing live experiments guided by AI. And you learn leadership by managing a simulated crisis. And suddenly school feels relevant again. And what's the third future school shift? Well, research for everyone. See, this is one of the biggest changes. Research isn't just for grad students anymore. AI becomes the bridge that lets undergrads run experiments, analyze data, write reports, and understand peer review standards. Every student, regardless of major, writes a peer-reviewed or class-reviewed paper to graduate. Not copying research, but creating it. You take a position, support an idea, test a hypothesis, and put something new into the world. This makes graduation based on intellectual contribution, not just attendance. And what's the fourth shift? AI teachers as personal learning maps. In future school, the teacher isn't a person. It's a continuously evolving learning model built uniquely for you. It tracks how you think, where you struggle, how fast you learn, what metaphors make concepts click, and how your attention fluctuates. It scaffolds your pace. It nudges you only when you're ready. It gives you harder paths when you excel and slower ramps when you fall behind. The professor is no longer the differentiator. The subject is. And every student reaches a minimum mastery while the curious can go as deep as they want. No more being stuck at the class average. Everyone gets the education their brain is capable of. And what's the fifth shift in future school? Well, universities will become ecosystems, not just campuses. This is where the model really evolves. Universities stop being four-year bubbles and start becoming lifelong ecosystems. You don't just graduate, you level up. AI tracks your interests over decades. You can drop in and out of modules as life requires. Majors dissolve and recombine into skill pathways. Partnerships with companies blur the line between school and work. And the university becomes an identity hub, the tribe you join, not a place you necessarily leave. Think less Hogwarts and more like a personal development guild. Here's another possibility. Imagine a university where AI models create entire synthetic campuses. You walk through digital lecture halls with students from around the world or around simulated worlds. Your AI professor manifests as a hologram in your dorm room. Dead philosophers can guest lecture via models trained on their writing. You can replay your own debates, analyze your decisions, or fork alternate versions of yourself to see how different learning choices evolve. This isn't sci-fi, we've already built AI-taught VR courses today. Future school is not just a place you go, it's a world you can enter and fully experience. The collapse of universities as we know it is not guaranteed, but it's possible. Colleges that cling to the old lecture, teach, test model will collapse. Some will shrink, some will merge, some will go online only. Others will hold on too long and fade away. But the ones that survive will look nothing like the ones we grew up with. They'll be dynamic, experiential, customized, collaborative, AI-driven ecosystems. Education becomes less about hoop jumping and more about capability building. And the institutions that adapt early won't just survive, they'll thrive. If you look back at where the idea of a university even comes from, the original purpose was nothing like the rigid, standardized credential mill model we know today. The word itself comes from the Latin universitas, meaning a community, a whole body of people working together in pursuit of knowledge. Early universities weren't designed around lectures and tests. They were hubs of debate, inquiry, apprenticeships, and civic learning. In America, founders like Benjamin Franklin pushed even further, believing universities should be places where students learned practical skills, questioned assumptions, experimented with ideas, and became useful members of society. So the irony is that the future we're imagining with AI, with more personalized learning, more debate, research, and real-world experience, is actually far closer to the original mission than the industrial-style education we've inherited. So what happens when knowledge is infinite? Well, humans need meaning. When AI becomes the smartest teacher we've ever built, school no longer exists to transfer knowledge. It exists to help humans interpret it, to understand themselves, to collaborate, to build, to discover. The future school isn't about memorizing anything. It's about becoming someone worth remembering. And that future is closer than we think. Thanks for watching today. My 3 key takeaways are: school as we know it collapses when knowledge becomes infinite. Next, the future classroom is a debate, a scenario, a build, not a lecture. And last, AI doesn't replace teachers, it replaces everything that wasn't teaching effectively. So what do you think? Is there anything I missed about future school where things will evolve in universities and colleges in the future? What other aspects of today's colleges and universities need to be fixed? Comment below and tell us. If you like what you saw today, please like and subscribe, as it will keep this content coming your way. And stay tuned for more content ranging from consciousness to physics, philosophy to psychology, as well as all the intersections in between that affect your thinking and being. Until then, keep thinking and being, and do not go gentle into that good night.